Hi guys, welcome back to Bunny Brick Designs. Ooh, I'm throwing beads already. So I told you I was going to use this pendant. And so what I did also, and I don't know if you really can see it, I put a little bit of resin so that this pendant has like a purple hue to it on top of. So I did do that and I do like it. I thought it would look interesting. I didn't know if I was going to add some additional beads or anything to it. So I started designing out a necklace and I was thinking about maybe doing a multi-strand, but I think this pendant's going to be a little too big for that. So I think I'm just going to do a straight bracelet. So I am going to grab some wire and I'm going to use my new system here where I'm just going to find the wire that I want, and I want my heavy wire. So I'm going to do my 19 strand, if I can find it, 49 strand. I'm going to do my 49 strand. And I just took down my, hang on guys, it's stuck. There we go. So I got this new thing from, I think it's Beetalon. So it's their wire station, I think, or it's a workstation. And so it allows me, and I don't know if that's going to be long enough. That might be long enough. So I got a 49 strand here. And that's more gray than silver, but that's fine. So it's got this like dowel that you can put your spools on, and I did that, and I actually like it. It works pretty good. I am gonna grab a bead stopper here because I've already got a design started here. I'm gonna string it up, see what it looks like. I may want to add some more of these spacer beads in between. I'm thinking, do we want to add spacer beads? I know I don't want to add it between those, but it looks weird to have a spacer bead there and not have one there. And see, that's going to bug me. So maybe we do that and put spacer beads there instead of... I do like that better. That does shorten it. But I can always add these up here with something. So put another spacer bead. Spacer bead. I could do a spacer bead here, maybe. That I like. I do like that. So I'm designing, I always design on the fly just because you might get an idea, you might think it looks great, you get it on your wire and then suddenly you don't like it. So I'm going to start out, I do know I like these three, so I'm going to do purple, 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 and then the pendant, and then purple, 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 and... yeah, this is going to be very heavy, so we're going to need to make sure this is super... I actually like that. Well, I'm not liking that only because I can see wires. So when it comes down like this, I can see wires. So the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these beads. Little trick on if you don't like seeing wire... string up some seed beads. Now I have some seed beads left over from working on some things we did in a previous video. So I'm going to do 3 and see what that looks like. I think 3 is good. Now I'm going to do purple, purple, purple. All right. That being said, this pendant is quite heavy. I'm almost debating whether or not I want to use beetle on, but I've got my 49. It should be okay. Alright, so then I'm going to add on my large bead on this side, and I'm going to string up one side, see what it looks like. And I may get to this point and string up the other side just because I'm really curious as to what this is going to look like. I'm also concerned I don't want it to be too heavy either. So what I may do is I may add some chain and make it so take a chain, attach chain, and I know this is the wrong color, silver, but attach some chain to it as well, and then see if it looks okay. I always worry about super heavy pendants and super heavy beads. For durability, it's not that I'm afraid that it's not gonna stay crimped or it's not going to. I worry about this wire being sturdy enough to hold up the heavy beads for a long time. So when I sell my jewelry, I want people to be able to have it for years. So some of the older jewelry that and this is the thing, I've had jewelry since I was 16. I have jewelry that I made back then. So, oh, I like that. I really do. I think that's pretty. All right, so we've got that. Now let's see what the white looks like on. So we're going to string the white, actually the spacer, then the white. I'm just going to string all of these up and then see what we're going to need to do. We may need to add additional beads. Find some other beads because I don't know if we're going to have enough. If we're going to have enough beads to go all the way around the neck. And I don't know if I want to put chain on this. All right, that looks cute. I like that. And I know I said I was gonna do everything, but I want to see what this looks like with the white before I go too far, because I may need to put more white down here. Oh, so I like that. I do like that. Oops, sorry about shaking the camera. I think what I want to do is so I've got this, and I think I want to do another pattern of that. So instead of doing white right after, I think what I want to do is do let's see, what do we got? So we're going to do one of these, and then a purple, and then a spacer, and then a pearl. And I think this will actually finish off this necklace. And because I think it'll be long enough at that point that with the clasp and all the remaining beads, I think will be it'll be long enough that and I'm debating whether I want to do a reverse, what I'm going to call a reversey of the pattern. So right now, and when I say a reversal, reversal, we've got purple, spacer, 5 bead pattern here, 3 beads in white, purple. And so what I was thinking was, you know, I'd like to see the white more prominent in the front, and if I hang this, that white's going to be pretty far back. So what I was thinking was maybe doing purple, white, and then going backwards. I don't know. Let me string up the other side and see what that would look like. So if we strung up the other side as a reversal, instead of doing, we would skip this bead, we would go purple, or spacer, white, and I'm going to do opposite just because I want to see what it looks like held up against, and we'll decide which way we like it, and then we'll do it that way. Oops. Would help to put my spacer on first. Spacer, purple, spacer, pink, blue, pink. And I know these aren't pink, they're lilac, but so looking at this, I like this side better than this side. So we're gonna reverse this and do that. I think that'll be fun. It'll give it a opposite effect. So we're gonna do spacer, white, white, white. And as you can see, I was already starting to design something there that may be another necklace, maybe a bracelet, maybe a pair of earrings, really long pair of earrings, but that might be a little bit heavy for earrings. And then purple, well, it doesn't matter what bead. And it looks like we're getting down to almost being out of these beads. And not quite, but I'm getting down there to the point I'm almost finished this box. And all I've made was a few pairs of earrings and this necklace. And, well, the earrings were pretty... I'd say the earrings had a lot of beads in them. But they look really cool. Like, I'm sitting here looking at them and... I love the green in them. I may do something with the green beads and the remainder of these also, because I think they're very fun. I think they're very pretty. Purple. Pink. Maybe we'll do a memory wire bracelet with the remainder of those. I haven't done a lot of memory wire lately. All right, so we are up to the point where I'm going to go spacer, purple, and we still need a little bit more on this, but not so much that, whoops, that I want to do a whole nother set of a pattern. I'm thinking I may end with... doing maybe just, I like that. I really like that. Maybe we do one of these. No, I don't want that. So I got to figure out what I want to do on the end of this, because it's a beautiful necklace just like this, but it's too short. It would be a choker, and I don't, well, it would be up close to the neck. So, I mean, we could end it there. I could put a extender chain on it. That would give me roughly, let's see here, if we finished this, and I'm going to clip this just to not lose those beads. And if I were to, if I can find my, I had it out earlier, my, oh, there it is. So that would be a 16-inch necklace. Maybe we put some of those, just some of those purple beads on. So if I do another spacer, and then another spacer, and then just do purples, maybe do 3 on each side. That'll give me the length that I need. I like to do, well, let's do 2 and see how long that is, because we are going to have a clasp and the clasp will add about a 1/2 inch. Ooh, I'm throwing beads. And actually, that's perfect. Yep. So we'll do the 2 beads there. So we'll just end like that. That'll look nice in the back. I really like this pattern. I think that's pretty. So now I am debating whether I want to use regular crimps or if I want to use my clamshells, just because I'm afraid of the clamshells not supporting, but in reality, clamshells should work. They really should. So I'm going to take some crimp tubes. I'm going to take clamshells. I'm going to try a clamshell, and I'm going to see if there's, I mean, I am using 49, so this is the strongest of the beadle-on. So, I mean, it should. That with glue should not come off. To be honest, I'm not worried about the clamshell filling as much as I'm honestly worried about the wire itself. And I have bunnies misbehaving. I will be right back, guys. I'm going to pause you. All right, sorry about that, guys. So Bella was biting at one of the baby gates, and I was worried that some other bunnies had escaped, and that's why she was biting at the baby gate. But turns out she was just biting at the baby gate because she wanted treats. So we gave her a cookie. Charlie's doing well, the new bunny. Still quite shy, but doing well nonetheless. Nevertheless, you know, he's doesn't like a lot of loud noises, but strangely enough, he's not afraid of cars. All right, so we're going to trim off there. I left a little bit of a tail. I'm going to glue this. I'm really liking this necklace. Now, do we want to use lobster claw, an extender chain, or do we want to use a fun something fun and big on this? I think we'll use something fun and big. So I'm going to go into my necklace findings, and I actually have a clasp from one of the other bead boxes, and I'm debating whether I want to do the purple one. I think I want to do this one. I was going to do this leaf one with grapes, but I think I'm going to use one of these. I think those would go better with it. I'm going to save the leaf one for another project. And I'm going to grab some jump rings here. Probably grab these because it looks like these came out of a kit. So I'm hearing what sounds like thunder outside my window. I know you guys can't hear that. And I'm looking out and it's clear skies, although down a ways I see thunder clouds. Which is weird because there we go. That's open. I wouldn't expect to hear thunder with the storm clouds not building as much. Ooh, I'm throwing beads. So I'm going to have to pause this video in between this one and the next one and go pick up beads off the floor because I think I've dropped about 30 of them at this point. Ooh, I like this. Ooh! And I'm throwing I'm throwing jump rings. I'm throwing beads. Oop, the jump ring snagged on my pants, which is cool. I got the dropsies today. I don't know what it is. I was making raspberry sauce earlier for dinner tomorrow night. So I got people coming over. And I'm making fettuccine Alfredo, and I just made a fudge crostata with raspberry sauce. And if you're not sure what it is, you can... Alright, I hate these sometimes. How do we do this? We gotta go this way. There we go. There we go. Alright, so that's a short necklace, but it's a pretty one. Let me grab a mannequin. Let's see how it lays on the mannequin. I like that. Yeah, that's good. That looks nice. That's pretty. Alright guys, so I'm back. I just got through designing. I figured out why my phone shut off when I was videoing earlier. It was because my battery was about to die. So I'm going to grab some memory wire. And I'm going to grab, I don't know. Let's see. Do I have a small coil of memory wire that is not gold? So I have a bunch of memory wire, but it's not just, oh, there we go. There's some that was from one of my kits. Perfect. So, finally using up some of the memory wire from the Curated. I don't know if they sent... Oh, I had memory wire from the Curated box already. So, anyways, we'll just use what I already pulled out. So, I'm not even going to bother to cut this yet. I'm just going to start doing it. So, I started putting this together, and I had all of these beads together. So, it was the purple, or the blue, the purple, the lavender, and then the white. And while it looked cool, it needed something. So I decided to break it up a little bit. And I put this one in the center. And inadvertently, when I did these 3 bracelets, because I did this one, and then I said, okay, I need to figure out my center. And I did this one here, and I wanted the white in the center. And I was like, I added these, and these actually came right to here. And I was like, oh, wait, if I fill something in there, then these would look like a chevron. And then I put the white there. So this almost forms like this diamond circle pattern. Like if I had a 7th bracelet here, I would have just a white bead right here. And then it would give me that diamond formation. Like I would take this white bead out, put a pink one in, and put the white ones there. But I'm only going to do a 5-tier. 7 tends to get too far up the arm, and then it starts to get tight. So I'm going to find my end here, or a end, and I am going to take my round nose pliers, if I can find them, or my loopers. It doesn't really matter, just something that I can make a round loop with, and I am going to make a tiny loop. Making sure it is completely tight up against the wire. And that's not quite tight. Memory wire being hard steel is a little harder to work with than your typical wire. All right, so now I've got my end formed. I'm just going to start beading. So I'm going to start probably from this end, and I'm just going to take off a few beads at a time if I can. If you've got a pattern like this that's every other bead, it doesn't matter which bead goes where. Or if you're pulling off, for example, these 2. Doesn't matter which bead goes to which. Now, if I were to pull off a green and a purple, I would have to make sure that it went in the right order. So if I, for example, pulled off these 2 and only these 2, if I stuck this on there, it would mess up my pattern. So I need to make sure that I do a small, a purple, and a purple. So just be careful when you're pulling things off that you're putting them on in the right order. This has got to go on this way. And I'm just going to pull these big ones off one at a time, just to get it started. Once you got enough on there that you're starting to notice that it's getting in the way, and I'm twisting up my wires here. Of course I am. Yep. That's the one thing you got to be careful of with memory wire, is it can get tangled until you get beads on it. So, or you could do that. And see, that was what I didn't want to do, and I just flung beads everywhere. And now I don't know what's on there. So now let me see, where did I leave off? And yes, this is sometimes this is what happens. There we go. So I just wanted to get it down. So I am at the, so I did 3, I did that, I did that. I am at the cap. I'm at the white. Let's see if I can do this without picking up the ones that went everywhere all over the floor. Then I need that. I need that. I need one of those. I need a white, one of those, a pink, which is on the floor, so we'll grab a new one. And a white. Wait. Did I just do what I think I just did? I actually put extra beads on there that I didn't need to. So we've got that. All right, so I've got, this is actually extra. And I should be good to go with this. So I must not have lost as many on the floor as I thought. Nope, just the pink one. The rest of them, even though they flung, they were on the workstation. Just be careful you don't do that, because trust me, if you mess up your pattern and you have to start over and rebead, that can be such a pain in the butt. So I usually get a few on, and I'm by no means an expert in this. I'm just going to get you resituated because I know sometimes I'm not in frame. I'm by no means an expert on beading. I have been doing it for years, but I never consider myself an expert because there's always something to learn. Even in my full-time job, I've gotten certifications, and your certifications basically say you're an expert, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't know anything. Because there's always somebody out there that's going to know more, that's going to be better at it. But that's not to say I can't show somebody a trick that I might do that even the experts may not. So anyways, all right, so now I'm going to get these all down. And so all I'm doing is just slinking basically. And I am still twisted up here a little bit. And I think we can fix that by just pulling that out. And like I said, once you get the first set of beads on, it'll make this a little bit easier to deal with. There we go. All right. And so when I'm doing that, I just want to make sure that when I'm done with my round, that my beads end pretty much where I want them to, and they do. So that's perfect. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to start stringing the next set of beads. So I'm going to actually string all of these up off camera so you don't have to watch me do it. And I will show you what they look like when it's done. I will be back. All right, guys. So after, I don't know. It took me a long time because I dropped this thing like 6 times. As you can see, I have beads everywhere from dropping them, and I still have probably a half a dozen on the floor. So we're done. I am going to snip off. I've got to find my wire cutters, the correct wire cutters. So never use flush cutters or your regular cutters. Hi, baby. I got a bunny under my feet again. Never use your flush cutters or just regular wire cutters for memory wire. You will kill your cutters. I think when I first started out, I probably killed about I don't know, a dozen of them. I'm going to do roughly, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch there. I probably could do less than that. Actually, I'm going to snip a little more off. Make sure things don't go flying. And then I'm going to use my bail makers and make a loop. And try to make the loop as tight to your beads as possible so they don't move. And there we go. So that's done. I'm going to put this on and see what it looks like. I'm really liking this pattern. I think I really like this bracelet. So as you can see, we have, you know, the V on that side, the V on that side. I really like this bracelet. It's quite chunky. It's a little tight on me, but I like that. And I think maybe we should put, I think we should put, let's do some little drops. So I'm going to get some eye pins or a head pin here. I'm going to grab silver head pins. And I probably could grab what was in the kit, but you know what? I've got a ton of them from other kits, so I'm thinking maybe we do, let's see, a pearl. We'll do a pearl, a purple, and a green. I think that'll work. Grabbing all of my tools tonight. Gonna take my loopers. Make a nice little loop there. And then do we want to do something on the other side? Let's do let's grab another one. I think we'll do one on each side. And maybe do two on one side. Make it a little fun. Let's do a green. And a pearl. And a bead cap. And we'll call that one done. We'll just call that one done. So that one's going to be a little floaty thing. And then I want, for the other side, I think I want something green. I'm going to do a big purple and then a couple of greens, maybe. If my big purple will not fall through. So that one won't fall through good. And I think we'll do two greens on this one. Like that. Do we want a bead cap? I think we want a bead cap. Let's put the last bead cap, or one of the last bead caps here. That's cute. All right, so now we've got our three. Now we've just got to figure out which side is which. So if I did that on one side and that on the other, I think that'll work. And so I am just going to take my chain nose, and instead of doing these loops, I'm going to bend this one out just a little bit. I'm going to hook these on. That is, if I can. That should be out enough. So we're going to go, come on. Part of the problem is the beads keep moving in the way. All right, this is going to annoy me. There we go. There we go. That one's in. And now I could do these loops. They'd probably be easier, but they're closed. They're nice and closed, so I didn't want to mess with the nice and closed. And the memory wire will go back into place. And so I'm not distorting my loops. If I won't drop them off. There we go. There. Now we have some dangles on there as well. And I think those are fun. 2 on this side, 1 on that side. Anyways, so that's probably going to be about it for the curated bead box Regal Royal. Because to be honest, I don't have many beads left. This is it for the Regal Royal. Now I could probably make a bracelet with the whites and maybe the blue here. But I don't know. Maybe I'll make some earrings. I don't know yet. Maybe I'll just call it a day on these. I've got 3 of these left. I've got 4 of these. So I could probably, ooh, I just got an idea. I might be doing a wire bracelet or wire pair of earrings with those, similar to this, or similar to this with those beads. Anyways, I'm going to sign off for now. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.